A colorblind America is the truest expression of our nation's founding promise. This vision imagines a country where every person is judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. It is a powerful ideal that seeks to lift every citizen into individual dignity and equal standing. The law becomes a shield for the individual, not a tool for group interests. Opportunities should be open to all, based on unique talents and personal efforts. This principle is the bedrock of a free society, valuing personal responsibility and individual achievement. Colorblindness requires government neutrality on race. The state must not assign benefits or impose burdens based on ancestry or appearance. Neutrality ties directly to equality under the law. Rules must apply to everyone the same way without fear or favor. This approach strives for genuine equal opportunity, letting each person chart their own course. Not equal outcomes, but a fair and equal start. More than a dream, a practical framework for a just and prosperous nation. When law sees individuals, it frees people from group identity boxes. We see one another as fellow citizens, united by a national creed, not divided by superficial differences. One of the greatest strengths of a colorblind America is its power to fuel a true meritocracy. When rules for hiring are race-neutral, when rules for promotions are race-neutral, when rules for educational admissions are race-neutral, success is determined by ability, hard work, and individual character. People are empowered to rise based on what they can contribute and the skills they have diligently developed. This system allows the most talented and dedicated individuals to advance, regardless of their background or origins. It ensures that excellence is recognized and rewarded wherever it is found, unlocking the full potential of our nation's human capital and fostering a culture of high achievement. This free flow of talent is the engine of national productivity and innovation. When every person has a fair chance to compete, the country benefits from the best ideas, the strongest work ethic, and the most creative solutions. A colorblind framework prevents the waste of human potential that occurs when arbitrary barriers are placed in the way of capable individuals. A colorblind legal framework is essential for building stability and trust within a diverse society, so, when the government applies its rules neutrally, without regard to race, it sends a powerful message that the system is fair for everyone. Citizens from all different backgrounds are more likely to place their faith in institutions that they believe are impartial. This reduces the corrosive suspicion that the rules are rigged to favor one group over another. It helps to cool the tensions that can arise from identity-based grievances, and fosters a more cooperative and harmonious public square, where all feel they are treated with equal respect. This increased trust helps to counteract the zero-sum thinking that so often plagues diverse nations. When people believe the system is a fair contest, they are less likely to view the success of another group as their own loss. Instead of seeing society as a battleground for competing racial interests, citizens can focus on collaboration. A core strength of the colorblind ideal is its powerful discouragement of racial essentialism, which is the limiting belief that a person's race determines their identity, their abilities, and their destiny. By treating everyone as an individual, a colorblind society rejects this rigid and deterministic way of thinking. It asks citizens to look past superficial group labels and see the unique person standing before them. This shift in perspective is liberating. It allows people to be judged by their own actions, their personal beliefs, the specific content of their character, rather than by assumptions based on their skin color. This focus on the individual is profoundly important for a healthy civic life. It moves our national conversation away from permanent racial categories toward shared American values and responsibilities. When we stop defining ourselves and others primarily by race, we can find common ground based on our shared humanity. The vision of a colorblind America is powerfully reinforced by our modern legal and institutional framework. The foundation of this strength lies in our nation's landmark anti-discrimination laws, which explicitly prohibit discrimination based on race. They protect critical areas of life: employment, housing, education, public accommodations. These laws were built upon the core principle of equal treatment for every individual. They provide a clear and unambiguous standard. No person should be denied an opportunity or face a barrier because of their race. This legal structure is the primary tool for achieving a truly fair and just society. Maintaining the race-neutral application of these laws is absolutely vital. This protects all Americans from unfair treatment. It defends minority groups from the old forms of exclusion and bigotry that once plagued our nation. At the same time, It protects every citizen, regardless of their background, from new forms of racial favoritism or reverse discrimination. The law, when applied colorblindly, serves as an impartial referee, ensuring that the rules of the game are the same for everyone. Proponents of this vision make their case stronger by acknowledging the difficult realities of our history. They recognize that racism has existed and that its effects can linger. However, they argue that the most effective and just long-term solution is the vigorous and even-handed enforcement of our existing race-neutral laws. Instead of creating permanent systems of racial balancing, this approach focuses on expanding opportunity for all through universal programs that address challenges based on class or geography. It seeks to remedy discrimination on a case-by-case basis, holding individuals and institutions accountable for specific acts of prejudice. This refined perspective treats colorblindness not as an abstract fantasy, but as a practical civic technology for governing a large and diverse republic. It proposes that shared rules, individual merit, and equal justice are the bonds that can hold our society together most effectively. It builds common purpose and shared destiny. Our allegiance is to liberty and to justice for all, creating a bond beyond race, beyond ethnicity. This is the foundation of a united, strong country. The journey toward this ideal is central to the American story. It reflects faith in every human's potential. By insisting race not be a public factor, we affirm people are more than group identity. Every individual has inherent worth and deserves the chance to succeed on their terms. Pursuing colorblindness is not erasing history, but fulfilling our highest aspirations. A commitment to build a future where America's promise is real. For every citizen, without exception, we can build relationships and alliances based on mutual respect, shared interests, and individual merit. This fosters a culture where personal responsibility is paramount, and every person is seen as the author of their own life story, not just a representative of a racial group. Embracing individuality helps to build a stronger and more authentic national identity. A nation of individuals is more dynamic and resilient than a nation of competing racial blocs. It allows for a richer and more complex understanding of who we are as a people. Our national character becomes a tapestry woven from the unique threads of millions of individual lives, not a patchwork of segregated group identities. This unity, built on a foundation of individual freedom and dignity, is far more enduring than any unity based on temporary and divisive group allegiances. It creates a true, a pluribus unum. Out of many, one. By championing the individual, a colorblind America unleashes human potential on an unprecedented scale. People are free to pursue their passions, to think for themselves, and to define their own identities without the constraints of racial expectations. This freedom is the wellspring of creativity, innovation, and personal growth. It allows each person to contribute to society in their own unique way, enriching the life of the nation as a whole. A society that values the individual above the group is a society that values freedom itself, and that is the greatest strength any nation can possess. The vision of a colorblind America is powerfully reinforced by our modern legal and institutional framework. A colorblind America is, and always will be, the best America.